your flag off me. Hey, get your flag. You're interfering with me. Officer!
There's a crowd outside the Palace of Westminster every day, made up of both angry Leavers and Remainers. The police often have to intervene. MPs arriving for work face verbal abuse and sometimes even physical attack. Nigel Farage, leader of the Brexit Party, had a milkshake thrown at him earlier this year. A relatively harmless incident compared to what other politicians have experienced.
I have had threats of violence, including a death threat.
I've certainly had threats on social media and in other ways.
Well, I've had several death threats, several prosecutions by the police.
I sat in a meeting recently with some of my other Brexiteer senior colleagues, and somebody said, looked around and said, has anyone not had a death threat? And the answer was, we've all had death threats.
Including Tom Brake. The Liberal Democrat is a staunch opponent of Brexit. One Facebook page contained comments suggesting he should be strangled.
It varies from low-level abuse to death threats. I suspect that probably every other member of Parliament in the House of Commons has had death threats, and there's no doubt that these things have got worse since the referendum. So immediately after the referendum, there was a very clear increase.
And these MPs have little personal security. They hold surgeries in their constituencies where anyone can meet the politicians face to face. Tom Brake's offices are only locked at night.
Okay, you're on the hot seat there? Absolutely, yes.
One of the important roles that a British Member of Parliament has is being accessible to the public and providing a service. People come to their Member of Parliament about any issue from a difficulty securing a school place for their child through to poor quality housing. And if we're not accessible, then we're not actually able to provide a very good service for people.
That leaves them very exposed. 3 years ago, Labour MP Jo Cox was murdered on the way to a constituency surgery. Her attacker has links to a neo-Nazi group. Members of the opposition also blame the Prime Minister. They say his talk of capitulation and surrender is fueling hatred.
Mr. Speaker, hearing from the... With many of us in this place subject to death threats and abuse every single day. And let me tell the Prime Minister that they often quote his words, surrender act, betrayal, traitor, and I for one am sick of it. We must moderate our language, and it has to come from the Prime Minister first.
But PM Boris Johnson merely dismisses threats of violence against MPs as humbug.
I have to say, Mr. Speaker, I have to say, Mr. Speaker, I've never heard such humbug in all my life.
These are the sorts of threats that MPs receive every day, usually via Facebook or Twitter. There are references to hangings and firing squads, civil war, and gunning for blood. There's no way of knowing if some of these users might perpetuate violence in the real world. Scottish MP Lisa Cameron has been sent images of rapes and decapitations. She's lobbying for new legislation that would put an end to online anonymity.
The police will say to me, you know, we went to see the person and they lead, you know, quite a usual life. They don't get into trouble elsewhere, etc. But it's almost as though as soon as they go online, they feel anonymous. They feel that there are no barriers to anything that they have to do in terms of abuse online. We need to have that regulation.
Tom Brake believes that the political culture also needs to change.
The way back is for, first of all, I think in the UK, to resolve the issue of Brexit. I think until this is dealt with one way or another, then we will continue to see this level of aggression, this sort of language used.
For now, the Brexit crisis remains ongoing, and that makes all MPs potential targets, wherever they stand on the political spectrum.